Good evening, and welcome to Election Night in America 2020. After a very long and grueling campaign season with the coronavirus and the Black Lives Matter movement as the top two issues in the 2020 political atmosphere, Vice President Joe Biden, in his third bid for the presidency, faces against incumbent President Donald Trump. Both of these candidates would break history. Donald Trump would be the first president to win after three presidents have been consecutively re-elected. This has never happened in American history. As for Vice President Joe Biden, with Elizabeth Warren on his ticket, if they were to win, America would have their first woman in the White House as the vice president serving under Joe Biden. Let's take a look at our preferred candidate for president polling data taken on November 2nd, just yesterday. Vice President Joe Biden has an 8-point lead over Donald Trump. This comes as a response of the protests that have continued for the past couple of months that have led into Election Day, and a number of issues with mail-in ballots that have also deteriorated Donald Trump's approval rating at a negative net 15% nationwide, with a margin of error of around 5%, meaning that Donald Trump, even in his best case scenario, has a 45% approval rating. Right now, Donald Trump is at a very low point in this country, and a lot of political pundits do not give him a very large shot at winning re-election. But Vice President Biden, with his blunders in late October, have also caught up to him with his approval rating around 43%, barely above President Trump's. It is now 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 60 electoral votes up for grabs in the swing states of Virginia and Georgia, and the more solid states of Vermont, South Carolina, Indiana, and Kentucky. In the state of Vermont, Vice President Joe Biden will carry their 3 electoral votes. A very solid Democratic state. In the state of Kentucky, 8 electoral votes. A mildly contested Senate election here, with Senator Mitch McConnell, the Republican majority leader, right now facing a pretty good primary opponent, Charlie Booker, in that state. In the state of South Carolina, 9 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Typically too early to call, but called right at poll closing time in 2020. In the state of Indiana, Vice President Mike Pence's home state pretty much avoided this state the entire campaign season. 11 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. And in the battleground state of Virginia, 13 electoral votes. Joe Biden leads Donald Trump, a Hillary Clinton state from 2016. But in the state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes, a state that Donald Trump carried by 5% in 2016. And on our electoral map, Joe Biden has 3 electoral votes and Donald Trump has 28. It is now time for our 7:30 p.m. poll closings from the states of West Virginia and the swing states of North Carolina and Ohio, totaling up to 38 electoral votes. In the state of West Virginia, a state that Donald Trump carried every single county in 2016, 5 electoral votes, Donald Trump wins. In the state of North Carolina, another Trump state from 2016, around a 3-point margin for him 4 years ago, 15 electoral votes, Joe Biden currently leading. And in the swing state of Ohio, 18 electoral votes, has voted correctly for the past 60 years, Joe Biden leads Donald Trump. And on our electoral map, a small and subtle change, Donald Trump at 33 electoral votes, while Joe Biden remains at 3. It is now 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 172 electoral votes, but only 4 swing states, the states of Maine, Pennsylvania, Florida, and New Hampshire. In the state of Massachusetts, Joe Biden winning their 11 electoral votes up in the Northeast, joined by Connecticut with its 7 electoral votes. Neighboring Connecticut is Rhode Island with its 4 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. In the state of Maryland, 10 electoral votes. Joe Biden will carry that state, along with his home state of Delaware, a state that he has served as a senator from, 3 electoral votes. In the District of Columbia, the most liberal part of the United States, 3 electoral votes won by Joe Biden. And in the state of Illinois, 20 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. In the state of New Jersey, 14 electoral votes. Joe Biden will win here. And in the state of Maine, Maine and Nebraska are very interesting states. They divide their electoral votes based off a statewide and congressional district vote. Right now, we have enough information to project that Joe Biden will carry 3 out of the 4 electoral votes from Maine, meaning the at-large victory and the 1st congressional district. The 2nd district is currently too close to call. And in the state of Virginia, previously too close to call, Joe Biden now leading with a number of Northern Virginia counties outstanding, 13 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner, won back in 2016 by Hillary Clinton. And New Hampshire actually being called at poll closing time, a state that was decided by 2,000 votes in 2016, now overwhelmingly voting for the former vice president, 4 electoral votes in New Hampshire. Donald Trump will carry the state of Tennessee with its 11 electoral votes. No surprise in a number of these southern states, Alabama, which has a very interesting Senate race with Tommy Tuberville currently leading, 9 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Donald Trump will also carry the state of Missouri with its 10 electoral votes, and the state of Mississippi with yet again another interesting Senate race, 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump will also carry the state of Oklahoma with its 7 electoral votes. Now, in the battleground state of Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes went to the Republican Party in 2016 for the first time in 28 years. Joe Biden leads Donald Trump. Joe Biden was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. In the state of Florida, 29 electoral votes. Joe Biden has a commanding 4% lead over Donald Trump in this battleground state, very crucial to both campaigns. In the 2nd congressional district in the state of Maine, too close to call, very close in terms of the House results, the Senate results, and now the presidential results. 1 out of the 4 electoral votes in Maine are currently too close to call, about 30% of the vote outstanding, and Joe Biden now takes the lead on the national electoral vote map with 95 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 76. In the state of Arkansas at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have 6 electoral votes up for grabs, and President Trump will carry all 6 of the electoral votes from the state of Arkansas, now increasing his number to 82 electoral votes, Joe Biden remaining at 95. It is now 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 156 electoral votes with a number of key toss-up states. Taking a look at the state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner, the first key piece of the red wall here. In the state of Nebraska, joined by Maine, again, divide their electoral votes by congressional district and statewide vote. We have enough information to project that Donald Trump will carry 4 out of the 5 electoral votes from the state of Nebraska. Coincidentally, it is also the 2nd congressional district that is too close to call. In the state of North Dakota, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump will sweep that state, along with South Dakota, with another 3 electoral votes, pretty much solidifying the red wall here. In the state of Wyoming, gave Donald Trump the largest margin of victory back in 2016. Votes for him again by what we're looking at, over 30% of the vote. 3 electoral votes from Wyoming. In the state of Louisiana, 8 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner, a key part of the South there. And in the state of New York, 29 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Out of the state of New Mexico, previously characterized as a swing state in 2016, we considered this a key race because Donald Trump did have some efforts in this state, but at poll closing time, we have enough information to characterize all 5 electoral votes for Joe Biden. Joe Biden will also carry the state of Colorado. Again, another previous battleground state that Donald Trump did spend actually more money in this state than Joe Biden, but at poll closing time, Joe Biden will carry the state of Colorado, 9 electoral votes. In the state of Minnesota, a state Hillary Clinton carried by 1.5% back in 2016, we're seeing nearly a 10-point margin right now, with Joe Biden above Donald Trump with its 10 electoral votes going to the Democratic column. And in the state of Michigan, this is a big one here. The state of Michigan flips from red to blue. This is the first flip of the evening being called at poll closing time. The polls indicated that Joe Biden would win by roughly a 10% margin, but it looks like right now he's around 8-9% over Donald Trump. But keep in mind, Donald Trump carried the state back in 2016 by 0.27%, less than half a percentage point, in which Donald Trump defeated Secretary Hillary Clinton. The 16 electoral votes from Michigan, which broke through for Donald Trump in 2016, have returned to the Democratic column. And in the state of Wisconsin, neighboring Minnesota and Michigan, 10 electoral votes. Joe Biden leading Donald Trump, not ending up with good news for the president. In the state of Arizona, 11 electoral votes, part of a key region for the Democratic Party in the southwestern region of the United States. New Mexico is gone, Colorado is gone, Arizona might join the group for the Democratic Party. We will see at the end of the evening. And in the state of Texas, as I just mentioned, the southwest region of the United States, Texas is currently too close to call. The equivalent of the Republican Party's California, just a lot closer in terms of popular vote. 51% of the vote for Donald Trump, 48% for Joe Biden, 38 electoral votes at stake with about half the vote reported. And in Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, Donald Trump has a small lead over Joe Biden, who is currently at 48% compared to Donald Trump at 50%, 1 electoral vote at stake. And on the national electoral map, Joe Biden maintains his lead with 164 electoral votes to Donald Trump at 109. It is now 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 3 key states, Utah, Iowa, and Nevada, and a call in the state of Montana, 21 electoral votes at stake, and we actually have a call in the state of Nevada. In the state of Montana, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. In the state of Texas, which was just recently characterized as too close to call, counted their votes very, very early, 38 electoral votes, one of the few states that forced in-person voting this time around, denying numerous voters from an absentee ballot. Texas goes to Donald Trump. And in the state of Nevada, 6 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner. Yet again, another close state from 2016 that has since moved further enough to be solid for the Democratic Party. Now in Maine's 2nd congressional district, this is another flip. 1 out of the 4 electoral votes in Maine, giving all 4 electoral votes to Vice President Biden. This was a congressional district that voted for Donald Trump by nearly 10% in 2016, which actually voted for President Obama by roughly the same margin 4 years prior. So Joe Biden seemed to gain back a number of Obama to Trump voters, enough to win back the 2nd congressional district in Maine, from red to blue. And the state of Pennsylvania, this is another big one, effectively cutting off Donald Trump's pathway at re-election, 20 electoral votes from the state of Pennsylvania. It is not impossible for Donald Trump to recover from this point, but Joe Biden has a very solid pathway to being elected the 46th president of the United States now that Pennsylvania, Joe Biden's birth home state, lands in the Democratic column, flipping back from the Donald Trump column very early in the evening. In the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes, Donald Trump leads Joe Biden a lot narrower than where it was just 4 years ago. Nearly 10% more voters voted for Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton. Now it seems to be within a couple percentage points. And in the state of Utah, this is a very interesting scenario because Mitt Romney did not endorse Donald Trump, but also did not endorse Joe Biden. 6 electoral votes in Utah, Mitt Romney getting a very large amount of the write-in vote, around 12.5%. Donald Trump at 47.8% and Joe Biden at 38.9%. We do not have enough information to see if Donald Trump will win the state of Utah at the end of the evening. And on our electoral map, Joe Biden has 191 electoral votes, while Donald Trump has 150. At 11 p.m. Eastern Time, we have 5 states and numerous state calls to make, with 82 electoral votes at stake at this poll closing hour. In the state of California, 55 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner, very solid Democratic state. In the state of Washington, Joe Biden, 12 electoral votes. That very close primary seems a long time away ago. In the state of Washington, 12 electoral votes, Joe Biden. And finishing off the West Coast, Oregon, with its 7 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner. And Joe Biden will also carry the state of Hawaii with its 4 electoral votes. Donald Trump will carry the state of Idaho, 4 electoral votes. A little bit of a silver lining here for the Republican Party. And in Utah, again, previously characterized as too close to call with about 80% of precincts reporting, Donald Trump will carry the state by a plurality, not a majority, very similar to his 2016 margin. In Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, Donald Trump is the projected winner here, giving all 5 electoral votes to the Republican Party in 2020. In the state of Iowa, near actually Nebraska, coincidentally, 6 electoral votes, Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state of Iowa. Now on our electoral map, Joe Biden has 269 electoral votes, 1 away from the magic number of 270 electoral votes. If Donald Trump is to win this election, he currently has 167 electoral votes. He will need to win all of the yellow states and the remaining state of Alaska, which seems pretty solid, and history tells us that one will go to the GOP. But the pathway to the presidency for Donald Trump has effectively been cut off, with Joe Biden flipping Maine's 2nd congressional district, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, amongst numerous outstanding swing states that could possibly sway in favor of the Democratic Party. At 12 a.m. Eastern Time, we have state calls from the states of Wisconsin, Arizona, and Florida, all Trump states from 2016, 50 electoral votes. In the state of Wisconsin, Joe Biden is the projected winner. This is a big one, a huge flip for the Biden campaign, putting him over 270 electoral votes, 10 from the state of Wisconsin. On top of the state of Arizona, 11 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Another flip, around a 5-point swing in the state of Arizona. We just called this one actually for Mark Kelly in the Senate race. And in the state of Florida, 29 electoral votes. Polling data indicated Joe Biden would win by around 4 to 5% in this state. It seems to be a lot narrower than that, around a 2% margin for Joe Biden, but with 95% of precincts reporting, there just isn't enough of a Republican outstanding vote to overturn the election results in Florida. Joe Biden will win the Sunshine State, and that puts him at 319 electoral votes over Donald Trump at 167, which means that Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States of America. The Biden campaign has broken history, broken the glass ceiling for the vice president spot with Elizabeth Warren, who will be the new vice president come January 2021 with a new administration. Joe Biden, in his third bid, officially wins the presidency, elected the 46th president of the United States of America, defeating incumbent President Donald Trump. At 1 a.m. Eastern Time, we have polls closing in the state of Alaska and a number of state calls with 3 electoral votes at stake. In the state of Alaska, Donald Trump is the projected winner, 3 electoral votes. Interesting House and Senate race going on right now. We have yet to call it. In the state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes. Donald Trump retains this state from 2016. It was around a 5-point margin, which has since narrowed down to 1%. For Donald Trump, narrowly winning with 99% of precincts reporting. And in the state of Ohio, this officially breaks its streak as being a national bellwether. Ohio, 18 electoral votes. Donald Trump wins, defies the country, and does not vote in the same way as the winning candidate for the first time in over 60 years. Donald Trump will carry the state of Ohio, but in the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. In 2012, the Obama campaign carried Iowa and carried Ohio, but did not carry North Carolina. Now, it seems with a very huge increase in African-American turnout and minority turnout all around, with Joe Biden nearing 70 million in terms of the popular vote, Joe Biden carries the state of North Carolina 15 electoral votes, a flip for the first time since 2008. And on the final electoral map, Joe Biden has 334 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 201, flipping the states of Arizona, North Carolina, Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Maine's 2nd congressional district. Thank you guys for watching this video. I wanted to thank you all for participating in the subscriber-decided election night. We had nearly 3,000 respondents in the overall election matchup poll, and in terms of the vice president poll, we had nearly 2,000 respondents, in which you guys chose to have Elizabeth Warren as Joe Biden's running mate in this video. Kamala Harris came in 2nd, and actually, surprisingly, Keisha Lance Bottoms came in 3rd. So that was a very interesting poll result. Elizabeth Warren came out on top, which I think a lot is rooted at the, for the progressive base, and also the fact that she would be a very strong vice presidential candidate. And you guys also flipped a number of states that in the previous subscriber-decided election night, around 3 weeks ago, did not flip. Those are the states of Florida and North Carolina, which I think are very interesting, to say the least, that you guys said that Joe Biden would win, effectively giving him 334 electoral votes. Please make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I use them periodically, but I would still like to interact with you guys on other forms of social media. Make sure to comment down suggestions below. If you haven't subscribed and you want more content like this, I have a whole, if you go to my channel page, I have numerous playlists with election nights dating back, years. So you can go ahead and watch those in your free time. Please consider joining as a member on my channel if you want to see more content, and also if you are, I believe, the 2nd rank and above, you get early access to these election nights. So what you may be seeing as a regular viewer, my members have already seen a day ago. So again, go ahead and check that out, and thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you all tomorrow.